Ecuador heroes, warriors of Ecuador. This is the Ariel Aguas interview. Ariel, how are you?
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you guys here.
Thank you. No, thank you for joining us, and I'm glad to hear. Ariel is a Cumbaya FC player. He played college soccer over in the United States. He did his academy in Liga de Quito. Ariel, how are you feeling? You just finished your first facet of pro soccer. How's it going?
It's going great. I think it's a dream that came true. I can say that that kid that was looking up to professional players finally stepped in the pitch and was able to perform. So very happy for the experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, you had your debut. You played in some crazy stadiums, Rodrigo Paz Delgado, El Monumental, Estadio Atahualpa. How was those experiences? And before, when you were a kid, like you said, watching on TV or going to the stadiums, how is it playing on the field?
It's way different. Let me tell you, I was a ball boy for the Liga Quito, and I could say that being behind the bench, to going to the pitch and play, it's been amazing. Playing in the Monumental, it was a great experience. Those scenarios that it's way better, way different from college, going to professional. So it's a good experience. Gives you good memories.
Of course, yeah, that's incredible. So tell us about your time in college soccer. So we know you went up to the U18s in Liga, the academy, and then you went to play college ball. Where was that, and how did you go there?
So I finished playing for Liga de Quito until the U18. It was the U18, the reserve team. And after that, I just took my journey to Phoenix. That is a city in Arizona. I played there for a year and a half in a small junior college called Phoenix College. I played there for, like I said, 1 year and a half. Transferred to Grand Canyon University, where I played 3 years and a half. And after that, I finished my college career in George Mason University in Virginia, in Fairfax. How did I make it there? 6 years ago, me and my family went there to live. And one of my cousin's friends was actually a coach. And then he was able to give me a tryout at this Phoenix College. And finally, he accepted me. He signed me. And after that, everything was just... playing in a small college in Phoenix was able to give me the view from different coaches in the D1 environment, and I was able to catch one coach's eyes, and it was really good.
And that was at GCU.
That was at GCU, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Division I soccer is no joke. It's very hard to get there. Were you on a scholarship?
I was.
Yeah, nice. Did you have a scholarship going to the junior college?
I did as well.
Nice, excellent.
So it was very hard, to believe, because coming from Ecuador, studying here, I studied in the Colegio Liga as well, and going to a different country to start studying and playing soccer was kind of like, this dream, like this is the life, this is what I always wanted it, so it was good.
That's awesome. And how was your English when you first got there? Did you know about that or not too much?
No. I mean, I could read, I could hear, but I couldn't understand. I couldn't speak as well. It was hard. So I have one of my coaches told me when I got there, he was like, "Hey, I think you won't pass your classes." And I was like, I couldn't speak. So it was funny though, because my brother will translate to me and say, "Hey, coach saying this." Yeah. And it's crazy because he came like, "You're gonna fail your classes," and he's like, "No, just watch. It just takes time." And then after you start going to classes, you have practices, you have your friends, everything is just English, and then you gotta get it. Like, there's no joke, you have to.
Yeah.
So that was, it took me 2 years to just kind of like...
really get the hang of it.
Yeah, most like that is just stop being shy, because here you speak English, they're like... it's different cultures. So
yeah, of course.
You get to the point where you have to, and then that's how I started to speak.
Yeah, I like it. And what did you major in Arizona?
So I have 3 degrees. I got my associates in arts. That's just like you could say like the elective classes you take in college here in Ecuador. And then when I transferred to GCU, I started getting my bachelor's in science in finance and economics.
Oh, wow.
And then after I finished that degree, I went for my master's in, it's an MBA with a project management emphasis.
Nice.
I got that one as well. And then I went to George Mason. I started my like grad certificate in sports coaching.
Really?
So I
want to get into coaching?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good, you know. Yeah. You learn from kids, you learn from adults, you learn from, you know, young players. So you're always getting information from all the people.
That's right. And your experience as a footballer growing up, and you're always learning, and you can really get a degree in it.
Exactly. So like what I see from it is like I've been through many experiences in soccer, right? So you can say you have a different methodology here in Ecuador, and then you go to a junior college, it's different, and then you go to a Division 1 team and it's different, and then you come back and you see the professional level and it's different. So everything has a different way to practice, to develop, you know, to motivate. There's so many aspects in the soccer world that, you know, kind of shape you around it, and it's good.
That's interesting.
Exactly. Awesome.
So tell us about Liga. What age were you when you first joined, and you were playing obviously before that, right?
Yeah, so let me every time you ask me something, just my memories just go back and back. I started as a goalkeeper. Right? Nice. I started as a goalkeeper in a small soccer school here in San Antonio. After that, I went to El Nacional. I played for El Nacional, then U8, U9.
Yes.
And then after that, I went to Liga. But it was crazy because on the travel from my school to the soccer practice, my dad told me, you're not going to get that tall.
Yes.
Like, you should consider just changing different positions. And at that time, I had a good fit, you know, like I could shoot the ball strong. Yeah. You know, I can make some long passes, short passes. So he's like, maybe you want to make some goals, you know, score some goals, just try it out. And I was like, okay. So I followed my dad's word, right? Yeah. So I started a tryout in Liga. After 2 weeks, we were doing a drill, a 1v1 drill. And all of a sudden, just our player tried to dribble me, and I stick my foot out.
Nice.
And it was 50-50, I won the ball. And my coach is like, yo, you know what? You're defender, you defend well. So after that, I started playing as a defensive midfielder when I was 12. Cool. When I was 11, and then 12 as well. 13, my 13th year, I played as a right back. Right. And then after the 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I played as a center back.
Center back, exactly. And then you go to Arizona and then Virginia. Where do you play there in college?
So I finished college at GCU. I was signed as a center back. So I played center back. I had really good teammates that complimented me very well. Yeah. And then when I transferred to George Mason, I played as a defensive midfielder, which is, you know, it's not like a lot. You know, you're involved in the game way more than as a center back. Correct. And then you have different responsibilities as well, different qualities. But, you know, I grew up playing as a center back and being on the back, you know, just kind of lead, shape the game, you know, worry about the long balls, make some, you know, different steps.
That's your game.
That's my game. I like it a lot.
Really cool. Really cool. Yeah. Tell me, when you're growing up playing in the Liga Academy and really going for your soccer dreams, your football goals, was there a player that you looked up to, maybe from Ecuador, that you shaped your game around, or someone that was just inspired?
So I have a couple players, you know, a couple mentors that I can say. One of them is my assistant coach right now. It's Norberto Araujo. When I was a kid, you know, he was in the best moment of his career, and we always look up to it, right? We always look up. So it's the style that I always wanted to play. You know, be on the back, lead, you know, cover, step into the nine, you know, always worry about the long balls, like anticipate when you can. That's the game I like. And I also remember Jairo Campos. Yeah. Quite a strong player, you know, quick, is very aggressive, physical. That you always need that also in the back. So I can say those.
Two great qualities. Both of them have his personality. So you don't see a lot of center backs with that kind of power, that kind of personality, as you would say.
I'll say kind of composure though, because how they just play the game, it was just use calm, play, anticipate, give the ball, play, move it around. It's just things that stick to me a lot.
Yeah. And outside of Ecuador, Europe, or maybe another team from South America, another player from South America, who would you like to play as, or someone you saw like a role model as well?
That's a good question. Let me think about it a little bit. I think Thiago Silva. Yeah, why? He's always in the right spot.
Yeah.
Right? He's always reading the play, anticipating. He's physical when he needs to be physical. He's calm when he needs to be calm. It's one of those players that you look up to. Is like, I want to be like him one day, or I want to copy that play. Or another one that I can say, playing the midfielder, right? I'll say Arturo Vidal. Why? Because he's run non-stop. He's always active. He's always in the nice place, aggressive, never gives up for a ball. So those kind of things that you want to get, you want to be that. You want to share those qualities and put in the pitch.
Pick up different elements from each player.
Exactly, because you're not gonna find a player that is exactly like you.
No.
You might be taller, you might be as fast as you might be slower than the other one, but you also have different qualities that the opponents or the other players don't have. So then you have to pick it out. It's just kind of like make it like a, like a round player. Exactly, like like in a FIFA card, and then you want to, you put some scores in there, and then it's just literally like that.
And yeah, you got to work hard. You got to eat right.
Exactly.
Sleep good, and you can mold the best player that you can be. So I want to ask you about that. What do you do? You're playing pro your first year. You have a month off because of the break between the first phase and the second phase of the Liga Pro. What are you doing day to day to keep in shape, eat healthy, or do you still sleep good?
Yeah, so for example, like I have a weird diet, right? Most of my teammates is like, yeah, you only eat vegetables, you only eat this. So for example, I don't eat red meat.
Okay.
I don't eat pork, beef. I only eat turkey, chicken, and fish.
That's awesome.
So I always try to have a high protein diet. I also want to complement with a lot of vegetables, and I always try to keep in mind being hydrated. Drink a lot of water. I get a lot of supplements just to keep healthy, and always get my protein. 2 scoops of whey protein on it every day. Just kind of like you try to keep that weight that you have during this break, but you also want to complement with gym. I also do yoga. I also meditate. So all those things that helps you to improve. It's really good.
Yeah, and like what we were saying, everything collects into one.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. How long have you been doing this diet?
So I started this maybe a year and a half. I started. Don't get me wrong, I love beef. Well, I give it a family, asado, like it's really good. But trying to perform better in the pitch. That's how it helps me to recover faster and just to like be lean.
Did you see that yourself, or did you go to a doctor, or maybe your parents?
I started like looking up some research online, and then after reading a couple articles, I started doing it because you are the only one that can see what helps you or not.
There.
I like to eat fruits. I don't drink coffee. Yeah, so those things that kind of like shape you around and helps you to sleep better, recover faster, and being healthy.
It's really interesting what you're saying about the meditation, yoga. Is that every day, and what time do you do that?
I try to do it like 2 times a week.
Okay.
I do yoga and pool every Wednesday, and then try to meditate before games. Maybe I can do like more than 3 But it just gets to the point where like you need to, you can't abuse of that, right? You have to find the, in between, so you have like a bad practice about the game, how you deal with it, like all those things that could stress you, but just at the end of the day, it's just you gotta go through it. You gotta find ways to overcome those situations. So
Very cool. And when you meditate, I've meditated before, not a lot, but I remember one year I was trying to do it like 1, 2 times a week. I would do like 5, 10 minutes, nothing crazy. What did you?
yeah, it's just like a small, it's not like you're going to for like a class and just take like an hour. It's just like maybe like 15 to 20 minutes where you just breathe, you feel the air coming in and out. You focus, and for example, like I do this with stretching, for example, like you feel the muscles, how it stretch, where to stretch. You start to feel your body tightening it up, and sometimes you loosen it up, right? So it's different ways and that you can keep that routine, I can say. And then, yeah, it's just, for example, like before a game, I just like a visualization, like what are you gonna do the next day, right? You wake up and then for example, you go to breakfast, you step into the bus, you get to the locker room, you change it. So all those small details that when that is happening, just like, oh no, I know I already lived this, right? And then you just play, you just live, you just perform, and your mind is concentrate. You don't go around and you stop thinking. So that helps me a lot.
It loses stress and you have to clear your head. Exactly. I coach a U12 team. Every time we do stretches or sometimes we do abdominal work, planks. So I'm going to hold it for a minute and obviously
This is a lot of a minute.
so I'm telling them, think about what you're going to do after this encounter. So after this practice, what are you going to do tomorrow? The next day, just think I'm going to fly die.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, and we as an athletes, we know that when you go to that position, it's the longest time ever. It just goes so slow.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nice. And yoga and pool, is that like a class or you just go by yourself?
Yeah, so I try to find different environments, right? Because you learn and then it's not the same practices it's different practices everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a class. If I can go to a class, I just stay and do by myself. I have a couple videos of my old coaches from GCU that he implemented that to us. Like he taught me how to do it and when, how, and that it's very helpful. I can say yes.
And you were telling me while you were jumping back to college, you were finishing your last year at George Mason in Virginia, and you had a trial at DC United.
It's called London United. It's like a reserve team. Okay. He plays in the USL Championship.
Okay, gotcha. But that's still professional.
Exactly. Yeah. It was something that was there, but never like actually came up because I was here in Ecuador.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, those opportunities that a player or like an athlete that's looking to play professional wants. Yeah. Right. It motivates you. It keeps you on track, keeps you healthy, keeps you motivated with your mind where you want to be, and then and then everything just start getting. I always say if you have to be somewhere, you're going to be right. And
awesome, yeah. And how is playing with Juan Carlos Paredes?
With El Capi.
How is that?
Good. It's a really good player, really good person. It's an example. He always is the first one running. He's always, you can see that with the games and you can tell, right? You can tell he's a really good.
He's the smartest one there.
Yeah, he knows. He has experience, man. It's all I can say of him is experience. He motivates me. I remember a game with the Nacional when I debuted, and he just told me every single time I made something good, he's always cheering for me, and that's something that you admire, you playing. I saw him when he was in the World Cup, and then all of a sudden you're next to shoulder with shoulder, fighting with the team. So that's a good experience having him next to it.
And like you said, we played World Cup, we played Premier League football, of course. He legendary right back, and now he's a little bit older, but he doesn't run the same, but he's playing in the center midfield, center defensive mid, and he's one of the best in the league. Kicks out of the Asians that you could just tell he's a set apart from most of the players. He's smarter, and yeah, he might not run the same, but he can still do it with else.
Yeah, that's
good. And would you ever see yourself playing for the national team?
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, it's every player, every single player. You know, if you ask him, he wants to. Yes, you know, we want to wear that shirt. We want to represent the country. You know, we want to fight and give back what this amazing country give us. You know, we grew up here. I'm Ecuadorian, so it will be a pleasure.
Yes. You're from Quito?
I was born in. I raised here. Yeah.
Nice. And your family too?
Yeah, all of their family from here. Yeah, as well.
Did you have any family members, professional or college-like players?
My brother played college as well. My brother played college and it's called Ariel University up in Prescott, Arizona.
Okay.
He played there for 2 years. He also played with me at Phoenix College. So we started together. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then he's my example. You know, I always look up to him. He played. He grew up on the academy with Liga Pro. Mm-hmm. He went up to the reserve team as a right back, and he always was my example. You know, if he run 2 kilometers, I have to run 2 kilometers or more. You know, if he shoots with the left, I have to shoot with the left. So those good examples you have in life. You know, I was glad to have him next to me because you always learn. You know, he's a great motivator. Like he's always cheering. He's always there for me. And then before games, he's always with a message. You know, like, hey, brother, I hope hope well. Just play with your heart. You know, it's just before my debut, he sent me like a paragraph that I read it, and I was like already, you know, I was like so motivated to play. I was so ready, you know, and it's I believe in his dream, you know, and he's living his dream with me.
He must be very proud in the support system.
Yeah,
it's great. How different in age?
He's 5 years older than me. Yes.
Cool. And he's here in Ecuador.
No, he's in the States. So if you are seeing this, and this year, I love you.
Really cool idea. And it was great talking to you, sitting down. I wish you the best for your career. These 3 years in Cumbaya, it's gonna be something awesome. You're already starting, playing a lot in some games, and Cumbaya's doing pretty well too. So it's exciting to see what the future holds. And if you have any message to other than your brother, to anyone else watching, or a message to the kids who are also growing up and trying to be a professional or playing college soccer, what could you say?
Yeah, so first of all, everyone's path is different, right? Everyone's journey is different, everyone's team is different. But the only thing that is the same will be the amount of effort that you put into the game, right? The amount of discipline you put, the amount of hours of sleep you put in, you know, what you sacrifice, you know, what you put away from your life, good-wise, it will help you, you know. And if you really want it, you're gonna get it. But you just need work, sacrifices, you know, and also you have to be happy where you're at, right? I mean, that's the message I will say for the kids, for players, for everyone. You know, if you are happy what you're doing, you can be, you know, the best person in the world, the happiest, you know, the judgeable one. So I'm happy, you know, living the dream. You know, I left my family, I left everyone behind, but you know, it's at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. So thank you guys for coming. You know, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come to my house, you know, joining me for this interview, and then I'm always open for whatever you guys need. Just let me.
Thank you so much, Ariel.
You're welcome.
Ecuador Heroes, Warriors of Ecuador. This was the Ariel Aguas interview.